Stand by, Mike.
How about I sit?
You are traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop is Off the Cuff Paranormal. Join us every Friday at 8 p.m. on the NPI YouTube channel.
And hello, everyone. Hello, Amy. Hello, Kay. Oh, sorry, guys, if I don't move too quick, but I tweaked my back somehow. Only on this side. Only on that side. What was that, Mike?
You're not supposed to do that.
Well, no, I know I'm not supposed to do it, but hello, Holly. Thespians.
Oh, the jig is up.
All right. Well, I guess this is the last show before the end of 2022.
It's true.
Wow. Going on to two. You know what's going to be the hardest thing, Mike?
Am I supposed to guess?
Well, I could wait. Is writing 2023 and all my damn emails.
It always takes like a month.
Yeah, it does. So, okay, civilization as we know it. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you all for joining us tonight, being our last show of 2022. It's been a hell of a ride, hasn't it, Mike?
It's been a fun one. I was actually, I sent you that list of a recap of the year that was, and it's like, I went through our Facebook, the NPI Facebook page, and I was like, going back and seeing all the different things that we did, and I'm like, holy crap, it's been a busy year.
It has been a busy year. So that brings us kind of to the topic of tonight's show now, doesn't it?
It does. I posted, pretty much what the show is about, but we're going to look back on the year that was, and we're going to touch on some paranormal, how do I word it? Things that kind of, endings and beginnings, if that's the good way of putting it. We're ending one year, beginning a new one, and see if there's a paranormal way we can kind of loop that in.
I'm sure there always is.
Usually.
Well, so where do we want to start? Wow. I mean, how far back do we want to go? Just the beginning of 2022?
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Okay, well, let's see. Where did we start in 2022?
I know we did an investigation early in 2022. Now, I didn't have it on my list, but it was a memorable one as far as I can remember. Something happened to you.
Something happened
I'm
to
pretty sure
me.
that was early 2022. Maybe I'm going further back than I thought, but
Uh,
yeah. Hmm.
Something happened to me.
Yeah. It was in my memory banks, and maybe I'm just like misremembering, but it was a location in New Westminster, and you had quite the personal experience where you kind of got emotionally upset, angry.
Oh, was that the actual first investigation?
I think it was.
You know
Now,
what's you know what's bizarre? It's also the first investigation of 2023.
that's true. That's true.
Oh God, is that any sign of things to come? Oh my Lord, my Lord, my Lord.
Maybe I hope it's not a sign of things to come, but
Well, yeah, you were right. I got emotionally. How do I want to say that? Was I emotionally compromised?
you had to, instead of stepping out, which I know is one option for us as investigators, is kind of like, okay, I need to step out for a few minutes. You stayed for a good period, but you just kind of were like, I need other people to take over for a bit. And then you actually left. And I've never seen you leave an investigation like an AVP session before.
Well, well, that's true. You've never seen me. Other people have seen me leave. Oh my God! Hang on a second. I'm getting weird messages from people. Not on here.
Is it showing up on the thing? No, I don't see
No,
it.
it's showing up on my screen only.
Uh,
Yeah, well, you've never seen me leave an investigation before. Others have. And I've only done it, I think that I recall, I've only ever done it once before. And that was, believe it or not, it was in a church.
oh,
Um, and it wasn't so much that, and I mean, I know Holly and Ken would remember this. I'm pretty sure they were there. I know Nikki was. Um, but it was just the amount of overwhelming feelings and stuff that hit me in a wave from the place was just over too much. It was just like it was a bombardment that I just had to leave, and it wasn't negative in any way, shape, or form. I mean, very rarely are you in a church and is it negative, but it was just so much that I had to get up and walk out. But it'd go back.
yeah.
Um, the one in Bernie Lake, though, that was the Bernie Lake Theater you're talking about, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And we're allowed to say that.
Yeah.
It was in the underground. We like to call it. I think we've called it the dungeon. Yes, the dungeon. And it used to look more Finn running out screaming like a little child. I didn't run out screaming like a little girl. Excuse me. I mean, if there was a spider there, maybe.
Now, whose word do I take? Yours or Ken's?
Always mine. Always mine.
Oh, yes.
What about Harrison? Well, yeah, but that wasn't 2022, Ken. Ken's referring to Harrison. I don't know if you know about Harrison or not.
I think you've told me about Harrison, but I was not at that investigation because I've never investigated in Harrison. But I think you've told me. But feel free to share if you want.
Well,
to.
long story short, the investigation belonged to someone else, and we were asked in to help. And the house was active enough. And the place in the front of the garage, which was kind of like a bedroom kind of small living room / kitchen thing that was built on the front of the garage, or adapted into a living area in the front of the garage. It was an extended long garage.
Okay.
Anyway, they had claimed all kinds of things happening in this particular closet in the garage, where even Nikki had a mind's eye visualization of something in the garage, basically reaching out of a hole, dragging something back into it. It was not a pleasant thing, I can tell you that.
No.
Anyway, the girls were all in the garage. I was in the one of the bedrooms, and I was sitting next to, there was actually a vase right on my left hand side, just behind me, right. And I was sitting far enough forward, I wasn't going to touch the vase, but then something went right through me, like as if something went right, like a force went right on through me. And literally it lifted me up. Like, it didn't lift me physically up, but my inside just went like that. And I kind of went back. Like, it was so sudden and so startling that I actually went back and I hit the vase, and that's what clicked me, because I went, holy, and I steadied the vase, right? And everybody's like, are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right? And you're right. I did squeal a little bit on that one. That's means going, but you did squeal, Daryl. Like, yes, okay, maybe a little bit. And somebody asked if I was all right, and I said, I don't know. Something's not right with. I thought something was wrong with the women in the front of the garage, and so I went out, and I just said, I gotta go check. I gotta go. Now, okay, so let me just post this. This is what Ken said prior to me going on with this.
Okay.
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 Now, I went out and I went to the garage, and I do believe one of our old investigators, Connie and Nikki, they were in the garage. Anyway, I came out and I knocked on the door, and I'm like, they opened the door, and I said, "Is everybody okay here?" And you could hear my voice cracking up, right? And they're like, "Yeah, everything's fine here. Why?" I said, "I don't know. I had something happen to me. I thought something was wrong here. I just had to come out and check." And they're like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "No." And I just started, it just started flowing, right? So I walked out to the end of the garage, and Connie came out on one side, was drawing symbols because she's a Reiki master, pounding them into one shoulder. And of course, Nikki was handing me crystal after crystal in the other hand, trying to make me feel better. And I got over it and I went back. But it was one of the weirdest incidences I had ever had. And more than one person was brought to tears in that place. It was quite a unique thing, but that wasn't 2022, mind you. But
Right. Yeah.
it was definitely an incident. It can't really. I could not compare what happened at the leg with that.
Yeah.
I can say what happened to the leg was interesting, and I think that I just pushed it a little too far, and something finally just said, "No, I've had enough. I'm not pushing back." That's what I think happened to the leg.
Yeah.
I think that okay, maybe this is just my opinion. I don't know whether the thespian and Ken would agree or not, but I think I have a bit of an ongoing with whatever's down in that dungeon area. I don't want to call it a connection, but there is, I think, a little bit of headbutting there, and I don't know if it's me or if it's just what is prompted every time I go down there. I don't know. It doesn't happen elsewhere in theater, just there.
Yeah.
That was unique. That was definitely a unique thing. And I got to admit, I mean, although I am looking forward to the investigation coming up soon, um, it always leaves me with a little bit of intrepidation when it comes to that dungeon area.
Yeah, I can understand that. I remember one thing that really stood out in my memory banks for that investigation is where you were sitting. You couldn't possibly see what I saw, but I took a picture of you, and you were doing your your asking questions and so on, and you said in your mind, and I know you get thoughts and stuff that come to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said you were picturing in your mind the letters of I believe it was INT or ENT or something like that, to that effect. And you said they were red. And I was like, okay, that you were saying because you weren't sure how they were connected to you, in what way, shape, or form. Anyways, after that, we were I was going through my photos, and I looked at the photo I had taken of you, and right above your head was an exit sign, and it was partially blocked out, and you could only see the letters that you had said had come to your mind.
I remember that. I
Yeah, I
remember
still
that.
have that photo, and I thought, how much of a coincidence is that? Maybe it's not a coincidence at all, but I just thought it was really cool that you would have that thought and say it out loud, but you couldn't possibly know what I could see from my perspective,
No, I couldn't.
right?
You're
Like,
right, I
there's no
couldn't.
way. Yeah,
But I don't think. I mean, I think, like as Ken had just said, he goes, it has been an area of notice by a number of teams beyond MPI, and he's absolutely right. It has been. I think I don't think I think the place is really unique. I think it's a lot of fun. Um, I wouldn't say that, I've ever been in there and been absolutely, I've never been scared to be there.
yeah,
I think that there is some confrontational between, it can be confrontational at times if something, whatever's downstairs and whatever's upstairs, kind of, or whatever else comes in there, clash like I have. But it's never been, frightening to that
you
extent.
know,
It's always
it does.
been,
It does
it,
have a different ambience to it. Like
yeah,
as
it
soon as
has
you
different
walk in the
influences.
door, you can almost feel it, and it's not anything bad or anything, but even myself, I can feel it, right? And I go, it's just
Yeah,
a different aura about it, and maybe it's just because it's really old. I don't know. I mean, I go in all kinds of old places, and I don't get the same feeling I do when I go in there.
that is true. It's one unique place, and I always look forward to it. But I mean, everybody has their interpretations of how they feel in certain areas, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Where I feel a little bit of interpretation because of my experiences. That's why I
yeah,
might have a little bit of interpretation about it. But other than that, I don't. I've never been. It's never been a scary place.
yeah.
But
The,
has it been active? Oh yeah,
the
it's
only time
active for
I
sure.
felt anything was it was actually that last time we were there, and we were on the stage, and I was actually seated on the. If you were looking at the stage, I guess I would be over to the left, which is where there's that stairway that goes down to the dungeon.
Yeah, you would have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I just remember I kept on looking over. I mean, we had all the lights off and everything, so I couldn't see. And I'm like sitting there, I kept looking to my right, and I'm like, well, first of all, why am I looking? What am I expecting to see? It's pitch black. I don't have infrared vision, but I kept on going like this, like there's something there, and I don't know.
Well,
I had no reason to be doing that,
I'm
but
not sure, but I do believe that is the side of the stage where the person controlling some of the stuff would be. Is that not correct, Ken and Holly? I'm not sure if I've got that right.
they would know the best.
Um, well, hang on a second.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
some
he
words I'm
hasn't
just
answered
thinking of.
that. Kay did say, I was there once when you did a presentation. I sat near the front of the stage, and both you and I, Daryl, heard a clunk just behind you. Kay also wrote, when you had finished, there was a screw or nail on the stage behind you. I don't quite recall that, Kay, but it could very well be, yes. And Kay hadn't been there before. It, yeah, I mean that one is a really unique place, and I mean, every time we get a chance to go back, I'd never miss it.
Yeah.
I'd never miss it. I mean, unless I had to, I'd never miss it. Um, it's such a unique establishment. It's such a unique place, and you know what? Besides that, folks, I've been to a few of the shows there. Always been really great. It's always been
I,
good. A
I've
lot
never
of
had the
fun.
privilege. I've never had the privilege, but
Oh, you should go. They have some nice, they have some good stuff there. You can pick and choose, but you want to you want to get your seats early because a lot of them are long timers that go there all the time, right? So, Ken said, okay, so Ken said, yeah,
it is, after all, the only surviving 7 display building from an exhibition. I've never thought of that before. Perhaps there is a presence from the other buildings. Possibly.
that is
Possibly.
that is possibly it too. Something's tied itself to the construction, to the building itself, to the
Yeah.
interior. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
We really don't know. I mean, if we've looked, and I don't think we've ever gotten complete answers as to what's down there or what's not. We
Yeah.
just know that there's activity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool, though. I mean, I love it when you ask a REM pod to do something and it peeps once for yes and twice for no. It's kind of it's a lot of fun. It's really cool.
And some
Stage
really
manager,
cool EVPs come from there too.
yeah, Ken said stage manager sits on the audience's left backstage. So there you go, Mike.
Yes.
Actually, on the stage, I guess it's the actors. It's called stage right. I'm assuming.
Yes, because from my perspective, where I was sitting, it would have been to my right. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and maybe whatever's there was a stage manager once.
It's possible. Possible.
I
We've
don't
heard a
know.
lot of other things there. So
I'd be really curious. Obviously that, as far as my recollection goes, that is where we started off 2022, and
yes,
where we're going to start off 2023. I'm going to be really curious if we try that again, where we can kind of reenact or redo things the way that we had them, where the lights are off and I was sitting on that side of the stage. It'd be really cool to, I don't want to try to look to my right, but I don't want to not try. If you know what I mean? I just want to kind of let it happen. But
well, you just have to have your trap cam sitting next to you, looking right.
True. Yeah, I could look forward, leave it pointed to my right.
That's right. There you go. You never know; it might work out.
So, carrying on about our how 2022 started off, really one thing that is really most important is our show. Off the Cuff.
And it did start in 2020. It started March
25th.
March 25th, 2022. And
episode number 1.
And I can't even begin to think about how many audio shows we did alone. Was what, 20, 30 of them?
Oh, at least. I mean, how many weeks was that well, that's part of my notes here, but until we moved to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we've talked about so much just to go back and rehash some of the first shows and be like, we actually talked about that? I mean, it would be interesting if you go back and actually see how our opinions have changed, if at all, from the first stuff we talked about. And
it's true.
We rehash it at this point in time.
One of the cool things I find about the show, and I know we've said it before, is we're discussing ideas and theories and stuff, and we kind of go, we should make note of that to do that on investigation, because I never thought about that before. How many times have we come up and said that? And now we have an investigation coming up. Do you think I can remember any of those things that we said we got to try that? No. No. I can't remember any of those things. I should have written it down. But anyways.
Well, you can always go back and listen to the last 30 episodes.
Yeah,
it's only about 30 hours, give or take.
I need a week off work. What are you doing on your week off? Listening to Off the Cuff.
Oh, maybe someday somebody will be going, what did you do? Well, I sat there and I just, what do they call it? When you binge watch?
Yeah, binge listen. Binge listen. Oh my God.
Binge listen Off the Cuff Paranormal. There you go.
Because they're all saved, I think, are they not? They're all saved to our Facebook page?
They are saved to our Facebook, and these ones are saved to our YouTube.
Yes.
It was a big change. I think it was only about 3-4 months ago that we moved to YouTube.
November, last month.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I keep there's so many episodes. I'm like, oh, geez, I've already got like 6 or 7 of them sitting up in YouTube, right?
Yeah, no, November 18th was our first YouTube episode. And we haven't gone back. Obviously, we can't go back to Facebook now because they shut that down. Not the page, just the group chats.
Just the audio
audio chat.
chats,
Yeah.
the audio rooms, which was really it was a shame that I can broadcast this from here on to Facebook too. I think I've only done it once, and I think there were some issues, so I just stuck with YouTube.
Yeah.
But it was a very interesting move to YouTube. I've enjoyed it. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, now everybody gets to see our ugly mugs that go along with our cute voices. Exactly. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's going to continue to be a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like we've gone through so many subjects, and we went off the rails quite a few times.
Yeah,
I remember laughing more than anything on a lot of them. It's just like, what was the theme of the show? I don't know, but it's like it started here and ended up way over here, like never where you intended it to go.
Folks, I can honestly tell you that paranormal shows and gummy bears are a very odd mix.
True. It's
true.
Not a good combination.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
And then we actually did, I think our first on location of Off the Cuff was from Camp Alexandra.
It was, and that was a glitch fest.
It was. That one was like, we tried so hard to do a video one. It wasn't working. It just was like, we finally got to go, but
yeah, it was Ken's like, edibles ?
I plead the fifth. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just had to think on that a little bit. It was fun though. It was a fun show. Mind you, I've never seen more monsters walk across the screen, but anyway. It was a lot of fun.
When monsters are involved, there's other things involved.
Oh my god, it was a lot of fun though. God, hang on, I just lost track of where I was here.
The first live show where we were at Camp.
Yes, and the live show was fun because we had a lot of people join us and listen in. And it wasn't just members. I mean, we had a lot of our members there, but there was a lot of other people that joined in and listened in.
Yeah.
And they got to listen to a ghost box and other things. And it was quite interesting. But I don't know if I'd ever do it the same way again. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
It would, there's other things that we can do. I mean, eventually I'm going to, hopefully this year, I'd like to maybe, pick out some highlights of different things. Like we might just, touch on investigations again, and pick out some highlights. And I can actually, Ken said, you said gummies.
No one said anything, Ken.
And I'll be able to share those highlights here on YouTube with you guys while we're live, which is kind of cool. I'm still learning a little bit of the ins and outs of StreamYard because that's what we're doing it through. We'll get together some other clips and stuff, and I'll be able to. I can save so many of them and actually post them up, whether they're EVP or clips, and we can actually do some highlights on investigations when we're allowed to, which I think is a really cool thing. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I think we'll have to put a poll out there and see who wants to see that or not, Mike.
I'm pretty sure I can predict what the poll would say. You got yes and you got no. And then yes is going to go, it'd be up here. And no is going to be like, there.
Just there. Oh my God.
That's a scientific poll, by the way.
Amy said, "Ha ha, Ken. Yes, the government allows the gummies and other types of edibles to come in many different flavors. They're stuck on gummy bears now that I've said
Oh my God.
it." All right, so where did we go from there, Mike? I mean, for me
Well,
to look at the list at the same time, I don't have my computer sitting next to me, so
I do. I have it here because I actually use it as my light, because the light in this room is actually not very bright. So I'm like, I have my email open right in front of me, so it brightens up. So that's why when it goes dark like this,
uh,
it's because I switched to a darker screen.
I know. But you don't want to be
Um,
in dark mode.
well, I know I could take it out of dark. Well, it's my son. It's my son's computer. I don't want to muck around with it too much.
You go into dark mode, it's like something about
Uh, okay. So sticking at Camp Alex, we did one of our first public events of 2022 there at Alex Fest.
We did. And it was actually the first public event that we did that you attended
Yes.
for the first time with MPI.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun to do the
It
event.
was fun.
It was unique.
We had quite the variety of people that came to our table. We had quite the well, because we were set up inside Alex Hall, and
Yes.
which I'm thankful for, because it was not the nicest weather when we got there, whereas everyone else was going to be outside.
Yeah.
But the weather improved, which may have hurt our chances of having people come talk to us. But
I don't think it was really loud outside too, though.
it was very loud outside. So I'm kind of glad that we were inside. It made for a better situation to listen to our EVPs through headphones and so on.
Yeah, it definitely did. And we had a few people come in and talk to us and tell us stories and stuff like that. Said, and every time I said, well, we'd love to hear more about your story. Please send us your story. And I've never heard back from them. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that does happen every once in a while. But it was a lot of fun to do it. I do believe that there might be a little more to do with camp this year. We're just not saying exactly what it is to any degree yet, are we?
No, we're going to wait until all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and so on and so on. But I think you could probably see more from us there this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll say yes. But other than that,
right. It's only on YouTube.
It's only on YouTube. Don't say anything. But yeah, we are looking at some other thoughts, and we're definitely going to be doing some investigations there this year again. Hopefully, they'll let us into a few more of the buildings as time goes by. I guess different people change and different roles and different accesses and stuff like that. But you know what? We're slowly twisting arms and tickling behinds and saying, "Hey, hopefully we can get in here and get in there."
I'm not tickling anybody's behind. I gotta put that on record right now. I'm not tickling anyone's behind.
No. But anyway, yeah, no, that Camp Alex is always. I mean, it's an amazing place. It's over 1,000. It's over 100 years old, right?
It is over 100 years old. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's we've gotten some really interesting evidence from there, to say the least. And you guys, even before us, have gotten evidence from your time there as well. And
there's definitely some head scratchers. Kind of going, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Camp Alex, keep an eye out for us and updates. And you'll be able to see more of the team members again from Camp Alex. And we'll inform you more when the time gets a little bit closer.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're not shy. We'll share our information.
Right.
Yeah. So the next one was Canada Day at Lafarge Lake. That was
Canada
a
Day.
long day, by the way. Oh my God, was that a long day?
Well, we were
It was
there.
worth it, but oh my God, it was a
Oh,
long
we
day.
were there. What, 8 hours? Well, 10 hours by the time we were
I
done.
think it was more closer to 10 hours when all
Yeah,
was said and done.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Canada Day. Uh, okay, I'm not bringing up the pickle tickle. Not yet, anyway.
It's in my notes, Kay. I mean,
That's,
maybe not that particular incident, but it's in my notes.
that's later in 2022.
Yeah, we're only on July here. I mean, yeah. Anyways,
Well, right now we're talking July 1st, Canada Day, and for most people that are here or don't know, if you listen to us later, NPI has been doing Canada Day. God, almost every year. We did it for probably 6, 7 years running easy. And then I gave it up. I gave it up just because everybody needed a break. Everybody needed to change things up, and we decided to walk away from it. But then COVID set in. Bum, 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 bum. So they didn't really run. They ran a Canada Day, but it was really kind of downgraded a lot. You couldn't go. It was all, you know, on basically on YouTube or on on a thing done by the city of Coquitlam, but it was all online. And really, I just wasn't something I was much interested in trying to put together. Didn't really have the time or the patience to do that. So I kind of said, I'm stepping back, and I thought to myself, we're not going to get back in there again. Somebody else is going to snag it, and that's it, right? That's what I thought.
yeah,
Anyway, so it turned around when you came on board, and Amy did, and we'd had we'd had a chance to grow a couple other members. And, I asked, I said, did you want to do Canada Day? You said,
yeah, I'll do it.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were actually prepared for it, but
Well, how does one prepare for 10 hours of nonstop talking and scorching summer heat and food trucks? Oh, food trucks. Oh, those were damn good pierogies, by the way. I just got to put
yes,
that out
they
there.
were good pierogies.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
The amazing thing about it, folks, they had probably, what was the guy saying? There must have been like 500,000, 450,000.
That was their estimate, was about 400 to 500,000 people.
Yeah. And, we saw, I wouldn't say we saw all of them, but we saw
Yeah, I know. We saw a lot.
Yeah. We had a big area. They gave us a really good big area to choose from. And thank God we were facing away from the sun most of the day.
Yes, I'm very thankful
because
for
it was
that.
hot. But we had a lot of fun, and then it was really interesting because at the end of the day, I was talking to the fella that had worked to set it up, and when they were working to set up Canada Day, when they first did their conversation to get Canada Day together this year, and one that people were going to attend. The first name at the top of the list, although we had not done it for over 3 years because of COVID, or almost, was NPI. They had a meeting and they said, there's no answers or buts. We want NPI back. They're 100%. We want it back. Period.
That's so awesome.
And that was like, we were like, I'm like, wow, really? And yeah, there wasn't even a question. You guys want it, you're in. There's not even a question. We were such a popular draw to everybody. Everybody remembered NPI at Canada Day when we were there. And that was such an incredible feeling to listen. And not only that, this one just blew my mind. He said, we have paid sponsors, right? These paid sponsors sponsor Canada Day, they sponsor the city of Coquitlam, they get a spot no matter what. But we were ahead. We had more of a draw, we had more of attention, We got more people interested and working with us and doing stuff and stuff like that at our tent than any of the sponsors had. We were above and beyond even their sponsors. And that's why we are wanted back at Canada Day every year in Coquitlam.
That's so awesome.
Way to go, NPI team. That is fan-friggin-tastic, folks. And it was such a good feeling. I'm just like, yes!
Absolutely. And it was a real team effort because, you know, not everyone obviously stayed through the whole day. You know, Amy was there for a bit, and Mike showed up, you know, in the morning, came back, and
yeah,
you know, it's just everybody came and went. You know, I was there from beginning to end, and I think, you know, because you were too.
Yeah.
When we were leaving with the stuff in your car, and I was just like, it was just, we were drained, we were done, but it was like, it was a good feeling though, right? Like it was fun.
It was
like,
a lot of fun. At the end of the day, you're glad it's over. But you know what? When you have people that are listening to the EVP being played, and the looks on their faces,
oh yeah,
when they're listening to this stuff and the stories they come back and tell, and I mean, you get the proverbial people that want to walk up and they're like, I have all kinds of orbs at my place, and you so badly want to go.
Yeah,
but it, you know, you got to understand that not everybody understands or, you know, looks at things all, you know, they look at things all differently, right? And so we have to kind of, okay, let's hear your story, let's talk to you now, listen to what we have to say, and then you can decide, you know, this is where we stand, this is where you stand. But I mean, that does happen. But there's a lot of people with a lot of really good stories, a lot of really good questions. Yeah. Yeah, they just love to hear it. So yeah, we're a big draw, man. And yeah, I mean, if it ends up going this year again, anybody else that wants to be in, hey man, I'm always into doing it. So there you go.
It's 7 months away, so you know. We got time to prepare. So on August 20th, we had, obviously we do multiple investigations throughout the year, but it's not too common when one stands out so much because of particular incidences, not mentioning a pickle tickle. But, you know, doing a joint investigation. Hang on a second. What was that?
Said or grab vacuum.
We did a joint investigation with Faculty X from up in Kelowna, and that one just stands out for a multitude of reasons. I mean, it was hot. First of all, I remember it being so ridiculously hot, but it was just so much fun. Like doing the joint thing, seeing them, the incident that is in question, which is called, it's forever known as the pickle tickle. It's just in the memory banks. It was one of the most memorable investigations of the year for me, really.
It was a unique investigation, and I mean, there was probably more that I felt was caught there than what we agreed upon. But everybody has their own opinions what we did and what we didn't catch. But I think that you know, we came up with a fair assessment of what we couldn't actually, you know, describe. Now, there was something that just recently came up. Now, Kay was telling me, and I can't remember what it was. It was something to do with that one. Kay, I'm having a brain fart here. You're gonna have to help me.
Well, yeah, Kate, it was a great night. Yes, it was.
Well, no, you know, the weird thing about that night. Now, here's something odd. Normally, when I'm at an investigation, I know, like, I know if I'm being affected. I know if, you know, if I'm not, if something's not right for me, I usually know. But that night, I was affected in a way I've never experienced before. I was grumpy, irritable, discontent. And I was actually taking it out on people bluntly. And I didn't even realize I was doing it,
But the
which is
funny
weird.
thing is that you mentioned that, and I know I said it to you before, is that I didn't even notice you were doing it.
No, and Kay did. She noticed it. But I don't know if she noticed it right off, but I know she noticed it. But she's the one who mentioned it to me, and I had, even when I was reviewing it, and then when I reviewed it a little bit longer, this was just before she had told me though, I was looking at it going, geez, I was a dick. And really, you know, I was, and I can't explain why it did. I just, I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. So I have no idea why I was affected that way. Yet I don't think anybody else was really affected that way, were they?
No, not to the effect, or not to the extreme that you were. I wasn't affected at all, aside from my very bizarre personal experience. But that's
Yeah,
another
well,
whole story. I
and
mean,
that was, yeah, that was a definite that was a definite scratcher. Um,
well, I wouldn't call it a scratch, but it was for those that are watching, and if you haven't heard the episode on Facebook, it was a personal. I don't want to call it attack because it wasn't an attack, but I was touched where you might be thinking.
and thus we call it the pickle tickle. The pickle tickle, what was it? The willy wag,
Oh
the
my God. Yeah, she had so many nicknames for it. She was just like hammering them out too, right? Like,
folks, we'll have to touch base with Dina for Faculty X and see if we can get all those nicknames that she used, because it was absolutely hilarious.
yes. And
Um, it,
what did Amy say here? I'm just reading it here. I remember watching you be Mr. Miserable in those clips, and that was very out of character for you. Yeah. Yeah. Watching you in the clips, that's where you can go back and see for sure. Like when not
oh,
only
I did.
watching you, but just watching everybody, it's like you
I
can
did.
tell that we didn't realize you were doing what you were doing. Like we just
Well,
carried on
no.
like normal.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, even I would have thought even, but then again, Mike and Bev, they were on a different team,
True.
right? Mike and Bev were with, I forgot her name.
Oh, Kay, fill us in here. Oh my
Not
God.
Dina, but
No,
oh my
not Dina.
God.
Oh my God. It's there. It's there.
Yes, I know. I can see your face. I just can't
Yeah.
think of the name.
Yeah.
Talking about a brain fart, and okay, I'll spill it right. Like there it is. No, she didn't say it.
No, she didn't say it.
Um,
Anyways,
Shaden, thank you.
Shaden. There we go. Yes. Yeah, Mike and
And
Bevan were Shaden, and you and I and Kay were together. I mean, Kay noticed it, but maybe not right off the hop. But again, I'm also not going to be the person. I would hope I'm going to say something to you. I may just say, Daryl, are you okay? I'm not going to just let things slide if you're not yourself.
well, that's what was weird, is that nobody said much, and I'm like, when I heard myself, I'm like, man, I was just a prick. And I mean, I was cutting people off, but folks, just to say that you can't be influenced, um, I'm proof, man. Hey, I don't know. I don't know what was. I'd go back. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But next time, I would be well aware of that. I'd be looking for it, right? Because that's just not me. Now, I wasn't in a bad mood or anything, but it's just not me.
No, you weren't.
So,
You weren't. Yeah.
yeah, but it happens. Definitely happens. But that was one great investigation. And you know what? Here's the thing: is there's still stuff going on about what we did there in our investigation, and the amount of homework
Oh
that
my gosh.
Kay did from Faculty X to tell us about stuff after we had done a walkthrough, and how it blended together was just like over the top incredible, and it continues on today.
Yeah.
There's more and more stuff that just keeps coming up and appearing, and the search just never ends, folks. The search never ends. So that is one residence that we can tell you that there's a lot more to it than what anybody is saying. Besides, I mean, I'm sorry, but there is no body underneath the tree outside. So stop that nonsense. But yeah, we just, you know, there was a different idea, different approach, and we might have hit on some really unique aspects. So more to come, folks. More to come. More to come.
Absolutely. I mean, before I move on to the next memory here from the year, I just want to add, you know, an investigation is so much more than just a couple hours at a location. There is so much legwork involved before and after, and continues after, that we don't necessarily talk about and share because it's not glamorous, if you want to call it that. I mean, the glamorous part is actually the investigation, but there's so much legwork involved that if you don't do that, your investigation is for naught. Like, why even do it? So
that's right.
Anyway, I digress. We know that, but maybe not everyone else realizes how much work is involved. So, okay. October 28th, you and I did a radio interview with CKNW. That was funny. I put it on my list because of just how goddamn nervous I was doing that. And it's so bizarre. Like, I've done countless interviews, but this one, I don't know why. I was sweating, I was shaking, and I'm like, oh my God, they're going to hear it come through on the radio. Just how nervous I am. And it was actually a really good time. And I mean, I don't know if you have anything to add about it, but I mean, it was fun to do. So.
It was short, it was quick, but it was fun. He hit on points he wanted to hit on, and gave us an opportunity to give our little opinions and stuff like that. Yeah, we just, it was just a lot of fun, and usually that kind of stuff, that's what you got to do with it. Is just have a lot of fun with it, go with the flow, and move on. But it was a lot of fun. It's one of the first ones I've done in quite a while. I've been on enough of them, but yeah, it was just fun. I mean, I do believe it's up on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Our
It's there.
Facebook
The
page
link
shared
is back
somewhere.
there. Yeah, it is.
But
there.
it definitely is there, and I think I'll have to get Nikki to grab that off you so it can actually put up on the blog, because there's going to be a whole. Well, that's a. We'll get to that. That's a new beginning. Anyway, on to the next.
On to the next is the next day after that radio interview, we did the ghost morgue tours at the police museum.
We did. Wow. Folks, what can I say about the Vancouver Police Museum? Fantastic. We've been doing it ever since NPI started. Okay. And before. Some of us before. Great place. It never truly disappoints. There's always something. Needless to say, and I would dare to say, I'm going to guess Mike's favorite spot in that morgue, and I'm going to have to say overflow.
My favorite spot?
Yeah.
The overflow. Absolutely. Yes.
It is a unique aspect. There is still stuff that we have not gotten the answers for. There always will be, I think. But after all this time, I think that whatever's there is getting a little more used to us. I think maybe, hopefully, someday, we'll get solid answers as to who it actually is. But so far, we've got more questions than answers. Although we do have some leads this time around that helped us. But and that was because Amy did a little bit of footwork and legwork, and she traced the name back. And believe it or not, folks, it ties hand in hand with some people that did spend some time at the Vancouver Police Museum in the morgue, I'm afraid, but they did. So It's really unique, but the Tales was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people jump and scare, especially with the guy that played um, uh, the main
The inspector.
the main inspector. Yes,
Yeah.
he was. Oh my God, his timing was just perfect, and he
Yeah.
had people scream. It was funnier than hell, but it was a lot of fun.
I'm trying to work here.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how many screams we got. And I just stood back by the TV, just smirking. I'm just because I know it's coming, right? It's just like,
Oh
oh God,
yeah.
here it comes.
Oh yeah.
The overflow is the spot that will give me the same intrepidation that you have at the Bernie Lake. I can understand that, Amy. Amy had a really bizarre experience at the Vancouver Police Museum as well. And I know we shared it when we were doing the morgue tours. Um, it's an experience I've never had before, quite like that. And I can understand why Amy, it was actually the first time I think I've ever seen Amy leave an EVP session. And she didn't come back to it. She stood outside, but I think it's one of the first times I've seen her do that.
But then again, that was about our last session out. So I don't think she actually had a chance to go back in.
True.
Right?
But for her to get to that point, I mean, she's been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And she was startled. And I don't know if it was necessarily the incident itself, but the whole combination of probably the feeling of what was going on. And she just didn't feel right. So I don't blame her.
Oh no, I don't blame her at all. I've got the evidence right on tape. It shows it as clear as day.
Yeah.
And it that leads to the whole question is to will whatever's there do it again?
I'm really curious. I think we have to actually. I think more tests can be done where we can try to get that to happen again. Also, with my trail cam even moving on its own. I mean,
that is true too.
You know,
I mean, somebody actually moved that trail camera, moved the tripod.
Yeah,
it was on. That was bizarre too.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Put Amy and Alicia back down there. If you can talk them into it, okay.
Okay, if you're going to bring Faculty X down to the police museum, we're going to do the joint investigation. We're going to have to lay out some ground rules. We're going to talk to the spirits and say, listen, you can do this and this and this, but you can't do this and this.
Ken says overflow never disappoints. Many people have been touched, felt a presence, or have seen one of the inhabitants. That is a fact. That is a fact. So did we have a great ending that day? Yes.
Yeah.
But there's more to come.
There is more to come, and that's just one of those places where, you know, like before we even go to the investigation, you get I don't know about you, but I almost get like the butterflies in the stomach feeling. You know, like I get like a little bit excited about it because it's like I don't know what's going to happen. And I love that.
I'm still waiting to get pushed or something there. I'm still waiting for it.
I've never been pushed there, but I've seen things now. I've heard things. I've also been when absolutely nothing happened before too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that does happen, of course. It's just, yeah, I love going there. So.
Well, there's definitely more to come. I guess we're running really short on time here, so we might go a little bit over, folks. But
no, it's okay. I mean, really, what I was going to just move on to was the upcoming year. So basically, we've ended the year 2022. We have the future to look forward to now. So what is 2023 going to bring for us?
Well, 2023. Well, you know, I've already said it. It was going to bring more of us at Camp Alex. That's for sure. There's going to be a few more events. And whether we show up at Canada Day is still up in the air, but you just never know. We might be there, we might not. We'll definitely tell you way before we know for sure. Well, way before, but no, you know what I mean. We'll let you know. Vancouver Police Museum is definitely on our bucket list. There will be other places that we are looking into. And I hate to say anything about where or when, because you just never know how it's all going to work out. But there's a few things I want to start digging into. try a little bit harder that I've kind of let lax in the last couple of years, mostly because of COVID. But I did leave things off that I think I've got a good shot at. I'm just, it takes a lot of work to try and talk to these certain people into certain things, and if it works out well, let's just say it's going to up our whole game by about tenfold. But even I won't say much about that until I know for sure, because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. But we'll see. There's going to be.
I just want to add, actually, if you don't mind, I know we had an event planned at the Yale Historic Site, and unfortunately, we had to cancel it on October 1st. It was nothing on our part, nothing on their part. It just ticket sales were not where we had hoped they would be. So, yeah, it's a possibility that's another one that could be out there for the coming year. We don't know yet, but it's another place we do love to work with. We love the people at Yale Historic Site. It is an amazing place if you've never been. And I recommend going.
And I still got to get in the house.
And Daryl's never been to one of the buildings. Yes, probably the most memorable building of the three that we get to investigate at the site. And Daryl's never been there, so yeah.
Gosh, burn it anyway. And Kay said possibly a road trip or two. So
I sure hope so. I mean, I hope that we can do some more collaborations with Faculty X in the coming year. It'd be great. Kay's knowledge is second to, I don't like to say second to none, because there's people out there that do an amazing amount of work. But Kay, your work is exemplary. That's my big word for Friday.
Your big word for Friday. Let's see, what else is on the agenda for 2023? That's a good question. It's really going to be a matter of doing some work. Oh, new website. Me and Amy are going to do some meetups in the new year, and we will be moving our website from GoDaddy over to Wix. And partially because I just don't like the new website builder, GoDaddy. So so we'll be moving it over to Wix, and Amy's going to help me build this website, and then we're going to take our blog and we're going to get our blog going too. I'm going to talk to Nikki and get a lot more EVP and videos and stuff like that on our YouTube, along with some EVP stuff on our YouTube. Me and Mike will be working on a few things. Well, he doesn't know it yet. I haven't asked him, but he will. We know he will. To get up on YouTube, some more stuff and whatnot. And so we just, a lot of different things in play this year, but we hope to have a really awesome website up, hopefully by about mid-year. And then I'll be moving all our stuff over to that website. So stay tuned. You never know what you're going to see. There's going to be more stuff, and we're going to have more guests on this year here on YouTube. So you just never know who's going to pop up. So keep your eyes watching, and until then, I guess it's about it for tonight, isn't it, Mike? Oh, Mike's done. What does that say on your stars?
It's Happy New Year.
Oh my God. Well, there you go, folks. From all of us here at NPI to all of you, your families, your friends, and everybody else, we'd like to wish you a very, very happy New Year's and all the best to you, as Mike says, in 2023. Guys, for myself, Daryl, and Mr. New Year himself,
me, Mike.
We want to say Happy New Year, have the best, and thanks a lot for joining us on Off the Cuff. Good night, everybody.
See you next year.
See you next year.
Good night, everybody.